Quick question. Are your sales emails falling flat? Do you ever wonder, what am I to put in my sales emails? Well, let me take you through Donald Miller's incredible overcoming an objection email to make sure your emails get into the heads of your prospects, your patients, your... Hey, it's Alan here, and I want to take you through really quickly the overcome objection email. When you get a new lead, when a client comes into your funnel, when you get your lead magnet out there, your tripwire out there, and your client comes into your email database, you need to keep in contact with them. Really, really important. Really important. Keep in contact with them. Now, what do you send them? What do you send them? Well, the framework is in here. Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller. Incredible sales email framework. And I'm going to talk about one of the emails in this framework, which is the Overcome an Objection email. The Overcome an Objection email. It's so simple and so powerful. So what is the Overcome Objection email? Well, very, very simple. You take a sheet of paper. What are the objections people have? And there's 5 objections that people have. Price. Do they have time? Is it going to take up their time? Is it going to be, difficult decision? Do they have to talk to somebody else? There's only 5 or 6 objections people have. But what are the objections people usually come up before they buy your product? And it might even not be even buying your product. It might be using your service, or could be a free service, wherever. It could be a charity, could be a pharmaceutical company where they don't specifically pay for it. Maybe it's pay for insurance. Maybe it's a charity where they're donating. So it doesn't have to be buying a product as such. But what are the objections people have before they work with you? Before they use your product, before they use your service? What are the objections that normally come up? It's too expensive. Will I be locked in? I need to get approval from somebody else. Those kind of objections. You write down every objection you've ever heard. Have you talked to clients? Have you talked to prospects? Have they given you objections? Well, if they have, you write down every objection you have ever heard. And generally they fall into 5 categories. And then we have our overcome objection emails. That writes 5 emails for you straight away. Now, to do this, you need to do your brand script first in this book again. Do your brand script first, which is going to tell you the internal problem, the external problem, which is the problem that they actually think they have, the internal problem, which is how they feel about the external problem, and the philosophical problem, why it's just not right that they have to deal with this problem. So this is all Marketing Made Simple. I won't talk about it now, maybe in another video, but the brand script is going to inform your overcome objection email. Once you have your brand script done, it can be done in a couple of hours. Really easy. Get your brand script done, and that's going to inform your overcome objection emails. You write down your 5 objections that people may have, to your 10 objections, maybe you have 20, I don't know, but generally there's about 5 good objections that people come up with all the time. At least 5 categories. So you take these 5 objections and you write your email overcoming these objections. What would you say? Let's say someone says to you, it's too expensive. What would you say to them? I hear you. Yes, absolutely. It seems really, really, really expensive. Until you look at how it works out over a 5-year period and what the benefit to you will be, blah, blah, blah. The profit you make, wherever your product happens to be, your service happens to be. But there's a way you can overcome that objection. It's too expensive. What other objection? I don't have the time. Absolutely. I completely understand. It seems like it's going to be very, very time consuming to get this thing done. And you're busy. Everyone's busy. Whoa, he broke my microphone. Everyone's busy. We don't have time. But the great thing about this service, Acme, blah, 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 whatever it happens to be. The great thing about this service is, in the long run, it actually saves you time. If you invest some time now, over the longer period, you're actually going to have everything streamlined, which is going to actually save you a lot more time and give you a lot more time back. Whatever it is, I'm just making this up on the spot, so this might not be appropriate to your service or your product, but whatever it is, there's a way to overcome that. I don't have time objection. What other objections are there? I have to get approval from someone else. Someone else has to approve this. I have to talk to my wife, I have to talk to my boss, I have to talk to the financial controller, whatever it happens to be. Of course you do. This is a big decision. You cannot make this decision on your own. Maybe we should sit down with a meeting, myself, you, and the other decision maker, and we will work out how we can move forward with this. So these are just suggestions. Obviously, your product, your service, whatever you do, is different from these. But this is the overcome objection email. So you could put this into an email. So you have actually overcome the objection before they tell you. Because the way it is today, you're probably not going to be talking to someone. It's all, maybe a salesperson will go to someone, maybe a sales rep will drop out to someone, whatever. But a lot of it's digital, let's be honest. A lot of it's digital. A lot of people don't want to talk to anybody. A lot of people don't want to talk to anybody. They want their problem solved without talking to anybody. So they have an objection in their head. And the issue is, you're never going to know what that objection is. The face-to-face connection isn't made there. So you're never going to know what that objection is, but it is in their head. So if you could overcome this objection in a sales email, so they've signed up, they're kind of interested. They wouldn't have signed up if you weren't interested, but they have some objections in their head that they have that they're not even going to tell you most of the time, unless you have a really good sales rep that goes out to them and gets it out of them what the objection is. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to even tell you the objection, which is a huge problem. Huge problem, because they won't buy and they will not tell you why they're not buying. At least if you find out why. But if you know from the start, if you send them the overcome objection email, and you'll have 5 or 6 of these in a row, they'll go out every 2 or 3 days, whatever, depending on what the industry is, how hot the lead is, and maybe at the very start it's very, very hot leads, so you need to get an email every second day, whatever happens to be. But they're going to have an objection. So if they, in the first 2 weeks, they get your 5, 6, 7 overcome objection emails, they're scanning through their emails, they read through it and go, oh yeah, he has a point actually, yes, this does work out more financially beneficial to me over the long term, or this is going to save me time over the long term. If you do that, that's the benefit of this great framework. Today you need frameworks in order to build these emails, but this is a great framework, this overcome objection email, and it's not the only one. I'm going to talk about the other ones in here as well. There's really, really great sales emails in here. I'm going to talk about each one of them, but the overcome objection email is one of the most important emails. And what it's going to do is, the people who are on the fence, who kind of want to buy, they like you, they've seen your brand X amount of times, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it happens to be, they've seen your brand, they trust you. They're, I've seen these guys, I've trust them, I know they can solve my problem. But I have this little objection, I don't know, time, I'm really busy, or I don't know financially if it makes sense, or whatever the objection is. They read the email, they get to the point of, okay, that does kind of make sense. And then, obviously, there's a call to action in the email to close the sale, whatever it happens to be. They sign up, they close sale, they buy a trip, or whatever the call to action is. But there's a call to action in the email. So once you have talked to them, once they have gone, okay, yeah, that actually makes sense, you can close the deal right there in the email. So this is really, really important. This is my interpretation. I might not have got it all right. If you want Donald Miller's interpretation, do I have that upside down? Sorry, I have it upside down. If you want Donald Miller's interpretation, read the book. It's all in there. But this is my interpretation of what he says as far as the overcome objection email. So really, really important email. Use the overcome objection email as part of your framework for your sales emails when someone signs up as a lead or prospect.